Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about artificial intelligence, an important editorial, an important topic. Do remember, 10 years down the line, this topic is going to be important. You may get as a passage in prelims or mains, or you may get a question based on AI in descriptive English or in group discussion or at the time of the interview. They may ask a lot of questions related to AI in relation to the banking sector. An important topic and a few important words are there to learn, but the text is not easy to comprehend. This article you have to read twice or thrice to comprehend, and you got to read meticulously to comprehend the editorial. But before we go to the editorial vocabulary, today practice questions based on exam topics. You are going to work on spot the errors, jumble, phrasal verbs, idioms, words and meanings. Let us start the session with editorial vocabulary. The very first word I think we have got recently, harness. Harness, it has two meanings. One meaning, if you take a horse, on the horseback something is kept. It has leather straps, it has a belt kind of a seat kind of a thing. The whole thing is called harness, but there it is a noun. Here it is a verb. We have got recently harness as a verb. What does it mean? To collect and control something so that it can be used effectively. To collect or extract, I usually give the word extract, not exactly extract to gather. Extract also we can use. It goes with resources, talent, potential. An important word. Harness the resources, harness the potential. Embellish we have got for the first time. It is a regular verb, part of speech verb. To make something more beautiful by adding something to it. To decorate, embellish. It goes with the word of aesthetics. Awe. Usually we say awestruck. Awe means what? It can be a verb, it can be a noun. A feeling of great respect, sometimes mixed with fear or surprise. It has a positive connotation and a feeling of great respect, sometimes mixed with more than fear, surprise, and you are impressed, awestruck, an important expression. Mimic, I am sure you all know, part of speech verb, mimicry, noun form. To copy the way in which a particular person usually speaks and moves, usually in order to make people laugh, mimicry, a sort of entertainment. But here, mimic can be a scientific term. Animals mimic other animals. If you look at nature, mimicry is one of the defense mechanisms, an important word that way. Banal, we have got for the first time, part of speech adjective, boring, ordinary, and not original. You can also think of the word monotonous, monotony, same thing being repeated. Then we use the word banal. Mitigate, an important word, synonyms assuage, elevate, alleviate. Mitigate, part of speech verb, to make something less harmful, unpleasant, or bad. But here you have to recollect words like assuage, alleviate, mitigate. All words are important. Extinction, an important word. And whenever you think of the word extinct or extinction, part of speech noun, and you have to think of words like endanger, flora, fauna, loss of habitat, all are related words. Extinction, part of speech noun, a situation in which something no longer exists. In a way, it means extinction of species, vanishing of species. It does not appear on the planet Earth. Wield, an important word we have got for the first time, part of speech verb. To have or use power, authority, or influence, or to hold and use a weapon. One meaning to hold and use a weapon, another meaning to use a power, authority, or influence. Enumerate, this is also a scientific term, part of speech verb, to name things separately one by one. In a way, you can say alleviate. Now, very good, Ajay. I appreciate you have been writing the synonyms. That is really good. Inscrutability, we have got this also for the first time, an important word. part of speech noun, the quality of not showing emotions or thoughts and therefore being very difficult to understand or get to know. Someone does not show emotions or feelings, then you can't make out or figure out what exactly the person thinks of. Very difficult to understand or get to know. Slam has two or three meanings. One meaning slam, to hit something very hard, to cause, to move against or cause to, against a hard surface with force and usually a loud noise. This usually goes with a door. He slammed the door, one meaning. Another meaning of the word slam, to criticize. He has been slammed by the management, means what? He has been criticized. Sandbox, we have got for the first time, it goes with this topic, a lexical term, a separate part of a computer system where software can be tested without any risk of it harming the whole system. The whole system is not affected, a separate part of a computer system where software can be tested without affecting the whole system. Scenario we have got a few times, part of speech noun, a description of possible actions or events in the future. You can also think of the word situation, present scenario, past scenario, future scenario. These are the words, not too many words. A few words are familiar, easy, but for one or two words. But the text is not easy to understand. You got to read twice or thrice to comprehend. Let us see how it starts. Good and bad. On India and artificial intelligence. On India and artificial intelligence. There are two dimensions over here. One, what is artificial intelligence? What is the impact of AI? What is good? What is bad? All that one dimension. The other dimension, AI, when it comes to India, how India has to, or Indian government has to look at or deal with or tackle with artificial intelligence. That is the most important thing at the fag end of the editorial. What is the main idea? India needs, as I said, it starts with what is AI? What is the impact of AI? There is good, there is bad. Keeping that in mind, what India has to do, how India has to respond. India needs to harness the benefits of AI while avoiding adverse effects. Very simple statement, the main idea of the editorial. It is a time to, India has to harness the benefits. So India needs to harness, it is in present tense. India third person singular, sentence in present tense affirmative. We need to add S or ES to the verb. That you have to recollect. India needs to do what? Harness, extract the benefits of AI at the same time while avoiding adverse effects. Here, harness means extract. Adverse I haven't brought because we have got many a time. I'm sure now you can answer adverse. Adverse means what? Negative. Negative. Adverse report. Adverse publicity. Adverse impact. Effect in green. Why? You have to recollect verb affect. It is a regular verb. Effect can be a verb, it can be a noun, but generally it is used as a noun, not as a verb. That you have to recollect. Now it is about, excuse me, now it is about AI general. It is something like introduction. Generative, there's one important word. When I teach grammar, I teach with the help of sentence patterns. When you learn grammar with the help of sentence patterns, then I tell students this is known as generative approach. Means what? Using one pattern, you can create thousands of sentences. So, same word over here, generative, means what? You can create something based on something on your own, not simply artificial intelligence. Generative AI is AI that can create new data. As I said, generate means to create. Generative artificial intelligence is artificial intelligence that can create new data. That is the speciality of AI. And to substantiate that statement, there are many instances Instances, events, incidents, examples. There are many instances of generative AI in the world today. Most commonly used to generate text, images, and code in response to users' requests. Today, if you take a piece of text and you ask based on AI, that reference is about that, and you ask based on AI, you want the summary of that. Within no time, you get the summary, you get the synopsis. So, in response to users' requests, even if they are capable of more, AI is capable of more. And here, some I could not get in green lack of time. Users important exam point of view. Why is it important? It is important because here users noun in the plural form ending in the letter S. When a plural noun ends in the letter S, we have to use the apostrophe after the letter S. Usually apostrophe used before the letter S, but when it comes to plural nouns ending in the letter S, we should use after the letter S. Good morning, Ravi Yadav. OpenAI's Chat GPT chatbot. This is all about Open Artificial Intelligence Chat GPT chatbot mimics intelligence very well. What does it do? It mimics intelligence very well. Mimic to copy or to imitate. But when it comes to the word imitate, it can be positive, it can be negative. When we say copycat, negative, imitate, someone imitates someone else, he is a copycat, negative. But emulate, there's another word. Emulate also means imitate, but this has a positive connotation. Emulate someone, positive. Copycat, negative. So here, OpenAI's ChatGPT chatbot mimics intelligence very well. Today, it has become synonymous with the abilities of generative AI at large. What has become synonymous with the abilities of generative AI, ChatGPT chatbot, that has become synonymous with the abilities of generative AI at large. At large, it is in green, so you got to listen carefully. Here, at large has two different meanings. One meaning neutral, the other one negative. Negative meaning it goes with criminals. Imagine a criminal is supposed to be in jail, in prison, but is outside. Then we say that notorious criminal is at large, escaped, and police are on the lookout. So the criminal is at large. At large means escaped and not in prison, outside the prison. One meaning. Here at large does has nothing to do with that meaning. Here at large means in general. So it talks about Chat GPT chatbot has become synonymous with the abilities of generative AI at large in general. Generally speaking, that's what it means. In the last few years, AI models backed by neural networks, neuron related to nervous system. In the last few years, what has happened if you take the past and if you come to the present? AI models backed by neural networks trained on very large data sets and with access to sufficient computing power have been used to do good. Now, editorial, it starts with what is AI, what is generally the function, and how can we look at AI. Then it talks about Chat GPT chatbot becoming synonymous with generative AI. Now, at the beginning of the editorial, you have seen good and bad. Here you see a few sentences related to good based on AI. After that, a few sentences bad related to AI. This is about good. In the last few years, AI models backed by neural networks trained on very large data sets and with access to sufficient computing power have been used to do good, have been used present perfect passive voice to do what? Good. And as an example to substantiate, such as finding new antibiotics and alloys for clever entertainment and cultural activities. And for many banal tasks, there's an important word here. Banal means regular, monotonous, repetitive, boring, ordinary, clever, and ordinary, both. But it has caught attention most notably with its ability to falsify data. This is on the negative side. Positive side, finding new antibiotics and new alloys, clever entertainment, cultural activities, and for many banal tasks, but contrasting information. It has caught, again, present perfect, it has caught attention most notably with its ability to falsify data. How does it falsify data? And about that, the world is past being able to reliably differentiate between data that faithfully reflects reality and data made to look that way by bad faith actors using AI. The sentence is not easy to understand. The world is past, a bit difficult to understand. Here, past, I really wonder how many can understand. The word past, we all know past incident, past event, and past tense. But here, something that happened in the past. Here, it has a different meaning altogether. Here, past means to cross. I gave an example. He went past the building. He went past the building means what? He crossed the building. Here, the world is past. The world has crossed. Being able to reliably differentiate between, one has to differentiate in a reliable manner between two things. One, data that faithfully reflects reality, something positive, and data made to look that way, made to look real by bad faith actors using AI. One is real data, the other one, data that is not real but looks real because of AI. Now people are able to differentiate. They have crossed that stage. That's what the sentence means. But here there's one important word. Datum singular. You have to recollect. Datum singular, data plural. When we use data as a plural of datum, it takes a plural verb. But data can also be used, it is also used as a collective noun. When we use the word data as a collective noun, it takes a singular verb. Quite often students ask me, sir, sometimes we see data is, sometimes we see data are. Which one is right, which one is wrong? Both are right. If the writer wants to convey the plural form of datum, the writer uses a plural verb. If the writer uses the word data as a collective noun, the writer uses a singular verb. Either way, correct. Do remember, don't get confused in the exam. So this sentence is a bit difficult to understand, but what it means, the world has crossed that stage and it can differentiate what is real, what looks real based on or using AI, something looks real, but it is not real. This and other developments led to a prominent, and this is very dangerous. This sentence is really, you got to spend some time. And this sentence talks about the possible dangers of AI and the response based on that from the pioneers in the field of AI. This and other developments led a prominent group. I haven't brought the meaning because we have got many a time. Prominent means what? Important. Prominent people, prominent group of AI pioneers. Pioneer also, the other day we got the word trailblazers, but here pioneer, someone who does something for the first time. We have got many a time. Of AI pioneers, those who have developed artificial intelligence, to draft a single sentence and alarmist statement. Alarm means what? You got to be alert and you got to be careful. You got to be cautious. What is that statement? Mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority alongside other societal scale risks such as pandemics and nuclear war. This is again very a bit scary, frightening, and intimidating. It is a negative statement about the negative impact of AI. All these people, prominent group related to AI And the pioneers, those who have developed AI, they have made a single sentence statement. What is that? Mitigating, an important word, mitigate, to make something less harmful. Usually it goes with a problem, unpleasant or less difficult. Mitigating the risk of extinction from. There is a risk of extinction of the mankind. That is too broad a statement, too general a statement. Mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority alongside other societal scale risks. There are certain risks. These risks could be individual, they could be at the level of the society, societal scale risks, large scale, such as pandemics. You all know pandemic, COVID 19, across the world made a negative impact. Nuclear war, it makes a tremendous, huge negative impact. They have given a statement saying that mitigating, reducing the risk of extinction from AI. That means what? There's a danger, there's a risk of extinction based on AI. This should be a global priority alongside, at the same level, other societal scale risks. What are the other societal scale risks? Pandemics and nuclear war. The reason for that, dishonest actors wielding, wield means to exercise power, one of the meanings. Dishonest actors wielding AI are one of many threats. There are so many threats. One of the threats, dishonest actors wielding AI are one of many threats, but the statement is too simple to admit the complexity of human society. It's a very broad statement and general statement. Extinction of the mankind because of AI. There's a risk that is too simple to admit the complexity of human society. But at the same time, some specific concerns enumerated in other communiques. Even this I haven't brought because we have already got. Communique means what? A public statement usually given to the media by a group of people or the government. Some specific concerns enumerated in other communiques are worth taking seriously, however. Though it is a too simple a statement, too general a statement, when you look at other communiques, in those communiques they have enumerated to name things separately one by one, to list out the risks. Some of those have to be considered. What are those? The inscrutability of the inner workings of AI models. This is an important word. Inscrutability, noun, the quality of not showing emotions or thoughts, and therefore very difficult to understand what exactly happens inside. Here, inscrutability of the inner workings of AI models, we cannot make out. Their use of copyrighted data. Data is copyright. Data, every data has copyright, and they use this copyrighted data in a clever manner. Regard for human dignity and privacy, they don't consider, and protections from falsifying information, a major problem. Something looks real but not real. All these are on the negative or flip side of AI. The models being developed and used today are not mandated to tick these boxes. It is not mandatory, compulsory to tick these boxes. Means they don't have to focus on these, even as there is no way to understand the risks they pose. There is no way to understand the risks they pose. It is too early. So even at a point when the computational resources required to run AI models in full coincide with that available in consumer electronics, the world will need at least rolling policies. They keep changing and keep the door open for democratic institutions to slam the brakes on dangerous enterprises. A very lengthy sentence from here to here. In a nutshell, what does it mean? Today, there is good, there is bad when it comes to AI. There is good, you don't have to worry, you should be happy. But there is a bad dimension, then you have to check that bad dimension, you have to stop that. Based on that, this sentence, it talks about here rolling policies that keep the door open for democratic institutions to, to slam the brakes, to stop dangerous enterprises and using AI negatively. That has to be stopped. At this time, now it is about the Indian government, what Indian government has to do at the back end of the editorial. At this time, the Indian government should proactively, I should have brought it in red or green, proactive. All youngsters here do remember tomorrow when you take up the job, private sector, public sector as well, they expect you to be proactive. Proactive employees are always admired, appreciated, and they go up in the ladder of professional ladder. They go to a higher level within no time. Now comes the question: what is being proactive? Proactive means before someone tells you to do something, you do it. You take the initiative. That is known as proactive. In the past, employees would wait for the orders, for the instructions. Now, the management wants the employees to look around, understand the situation, and take the initiative. That is being proactive, an important word. At this time, the Indian government should proactively launch and maintain an open source AI risk profile. So, what are the risks because of AI? It has to launch and maintain an open source, set up sandboxed. Sandbox we have got for the first time. A separate part of a computer system where software can be tested without any risk of it harming the whole system. Research and development environments to test potentially high risk AI models, promote the development of explainable AI, define scenarios of intervention, and keep a watchful eye. All these about the precautions to be taken when it comes to AI. Inaction is just not an option. Keeping quiet, just observing, no action is not an option. Apart from the possibility of adverse consequences, negative consequences, it could render India missing the harnessing AI for good bus. The last sentence says, no action is taken. What is the impact? One thing, apart from the possibility of adverse consequences, we are not prepared. Then we have to face the adverse consequences. That is one thing. Then we are not prepared. There's another danger. What is that? It could render India missing the harnessing AI for good bus. In the sense, no action, then we may miss harnessing artificial intelligence for good. For good has two meanings. One meaning, as an idiomatic expression, it means permanently, once for all. Usually, I give the example, he has left the city for good. Means what? He has left the city permanently. So we may miss the opportunity to harness AI for good forever. That is not a good thing for the country. That's all about today's editorial. I would like to reiterate an important editorial. You may get in prelims as a passage, mains as a passage. You may get in a descriptive paper, impact of AI on employment at the workplace, on the banking sector. Do remember, very important. You may get as a topic in group discussion. You may get, they may ask a lot about, there are two topics. One is automation, the other one is artificial intelligence. So try to gather more information, make notes, and be thorough with the lexical terms, word forms, related idioms, phrases, phrasal verbs. That will help in the long run. Let us go to questions based on this editorial, based on reading comprehension skill. I strongly recommend write about this editorial. What is this editorial about? What has become synonymous with the abilities of generative AI at large? Something has become synonymous with the abilities of generative AI at large in general. What is that? Easy to answer. What led a prominent group of AI pioneers to draft a single sentence and alarmist statement? Something that is intimidating, frightening, scary. Again, easy to answer. What is too simple to admit the complexity of human society? Keywords, navigate, locate, answer. What should, para jumble also, yes, Tirupati, there is every possibility. Para jumble, cloze test, they may give something like this. What should the Indian government proactively launch and maintain? It has to take the initiative. It has to launch and maintain. But what is it? You should you should be able to write. Write the answers. See, every day I bring questions based on the editorial. What is objective? What is the reason behind? When you read, you listen to me after the session, you may read once to get a better picture. Then you answer these questions that will help in the long run when it comes to dealing with passage, when it comes to dealing with para jumble. Once you improve your reading comprehension skill, there are so many benefits, especially when it comes to mains. Mains is all about one particular skill. What is that skill? A reading comprehension skill. And this is, in a way, the first step. You read the editorial, and I am bringing important questions based on the editorial. You answer these questions that will help when it comes to comprehension skill. One thing. Second, when you write the answers using your own sentences, it helps in the descriptive paper. And do remember, descriptive English makes or breaks your selection. Very important. Now, let us go to practice questions based on exam topics. First five questions based on error location. Somewhere I feel one question, a repeat question, but I'm not quite sure. Read the first one. There are many insurance disputes nowadays because of most people do not fully understand the terms and conditions of their policies. Please answer the first one. And I would like to appreciate all those students. They have responded. They have written the synonyms, antonyms, and grammar related aspects. Very good. Keep it up. Yes, of course, Ravi Yadav, Chat GPT, you may not get the exact thing. That is a problem. That is a problem. You got to be careful. Usually we say there is no substitute for human brain. Still, sometimes at some point, technology, it may go past the abilities of a typical human brain. The most no no here, there are many insurance disputes nowadays, no problem. Why? Because of most people. There are two expressions you have to think of. One is because, the other one because of. When you use because, you have to use a phrase, a clause, because most people do not fully understand the terms. So here we cannot use of. There is a clause here. Please listen very carefully. This is grammar based. After the word because, if you see a clause, you should not use a preposition of. But there is another expression. One is because, conjunction. The other one, because of. You ask the question, because of what? You need a noun or a phrase. Because of the delay. Here, the delay. Because of something. Because of what? Ask the question. It could be, then you get the object. Because of lack of interest. Because of something. Here, the delay, lack of something, they are like they play a role as an object in the position of the object. Then you have to use of, because of something. Here, remember this way, because of something. Here, because, why, reason, you have to mention the reason. An important one. Under pressure, it may trouble, but not that difficult to answer. Exactly, Ajay, very good. I appreciate that. Whether or not to confront them about their role in the matter is a decision which is yet to take. Whether or not to confront them about their role in the matter is a decision which is yet to take. When you cannot decide, take each part, subject, verb, object, phrases, clauses, and check meticulously. Ahmad is the first one to respond. Very good, I appreciate that. Is this Ahmad from Bangladesh or some other, not the same person? Whether or not, nothing wrong. To confront them, nothing wrong. About what? About their role in the matter. Here we have the verb. Is a decision. Nothing wrong. Which is, here we have a clause. Here this clause should be in passive voice. Passive voice. Based on that, it is not correct. Which is yet to be taken. Some students have written very good, yet to be taken. Wonderful. I appreciate that. Not easy under pressure. Yet to be taken. Okay, Ahmed, thanks for responding. I have one student from Bangladesh, not exactly student, he attends regularly. Let us go to question number 3. Angered over the delay in giving compensation, factory workers shouted slogans against the president when he reaches the office. Preparing for FI. Now, good. All the best. Please go to question number 3. Angered over the delay in giving compensation. Delay in giving compensation. Factory workers shouted. There's one verb in past. This is based on what I call contextual awareness. When you read the sentence, you have to understand the context. Does it talk about the present or past or future? The factory workers shouted slogans against the president. Already over, that means it goes into past. When did they shouted slogans against the president? When you cannot use the verb in the present form, it should be in the past form. When he reached the office. Very good. So it is based on contextual awareness, and context is what? Past context. Context goes into the past. Then we have to use the verbs in past form. Question number 4. Yes, very good. I appreciate all those who have written. Reached, past. Who are these? Ajay, then Hema, Rajshekharan, Yadav, Tirupati Rao, Sundari, Subhashini. I am giving you time. In the meantime, I'll read out the names. Swapna. Yes. No one has answered question number 4. I've given enough time. A lengthy sentence, perhaps you guys are busy reading. The cascading effect. This is a subject. A noun phrase. And in every phrase, remember, there's one key word. That should be the focus word. Effect. Of economic slowdown. It's a phrase. Put it in brackets. Has brought. It is in present perfect. Effect singular, has brought. A much unnerving gloom to the real estate industry last year. The moment you see last year, you should become alert. Last year goes into past. Past context, specific time in past, you cannot use present perfect tense. You have to use past tense. Based on that, here we cannot say has brought. We have to say brought a much unnerving gloom to the real estate industry last year. Last year, past, then you cannot use present perfect. But the industry is looking up this year, means expecting something positive this year. So last year is a clue. One more thing I would like to tell. When you read a sentence, first you look for the time phrase. That saves your time. You can spot the error easily. Then you look at the context. Based on the context, you can spot the error. Here, the moment you see last year, you should get the answer. You should be able to spot the error. So it is about past tense. It's a common error. Somewhere it is a familiar one from previous year's papers. Somewhere I feel one question, a repeat question, maybe this one. Question number 4. The RBI has proposed to introduce polymer notes after taking into considering the cost and longevity associated with the manufacturing. Smiling Dharani, you're right. Well, lengthy sentence. Nowadays they are giving lengthy sentences. But question number 5, where is the error? The RBI has proposed to introduce polymer notes, not paper notes, polymer, plastic currency. After taking into considering is not the right word. Tripura Sundari, first one, yes. After that, Sudhakara Yadav. No, 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 nothing wrong with. Where is the word it's? Here the word should be after taking into consideration. Considering is not the right word. Consideration, it's a standard expression. After taking into consideration, take into consideration means consider. They have not taken into consideration the problems of the students. Means what? They have not considered the problems of the students. Please take into consideration the plight of a particular group. Take into consideration a standard expression. If you read the newspapers, you can make out within no time. Let us go to para jumble, not that easy. You got to read very carefully. You may get this is from an international, no, this is also from the Hindu paper, editorial. So let's see how it goes. There are how many parts? 6 parts. You have to read carefully. What is a 4? Good, you should be happy, Ajay. All the 5 outstanding, fabulous, magnificent, wonderful. Take elimination approach. The US, hold that one. Here, before the names of a few countries, we have to use a definite article the. And common examples, a lot of people know the USA, the UK. But at the same time, you have to recollect other examples. The Netherlands, the Irish Republic, the Philippines. Here you focus on the para jumble. Hold the first one, including there is no subject. The government imposed definite article. Exceptions are there, but cannot consider. A breach cannot consider for the first time. No subject. This demonstrative pronoun cannot be the first one. No subject cannot be the first one. It could be A or D, but read carefully. I see both. Some students have said D, some students have said A. Answer is A. A is the first one. The US is close to breaching its $31.4 trillion debt ceiling. A is the first one. And look at the punctuation. I haven't touched the punctuation. Based on the punctuation also, you should be able to get the correct order. There's a comma here. It is not complete. No, if you start with D or off the track, D is not the first one, A is the first one. Here, for the next one, the clue, ceiling, debt ceiling. Ceiling means what? A limit. Based on that, the US is close to breaching, violating its $31.4 trillion debt ceiling. The ceiling, comma, the government imposed a limit on the total funds it can borrow to pay for existing legal obligations. C is the second one, not B. Oh, off the track, that means a tough one. I don't see, not even one student has got so far the correct order, but for the first one. A is the first one, C is the second one. Debt ceiling. What is the ceiling? The government imposed limit on the total funds it can borrow to pay for existing legal obligations, including interest on national debt, military salaries, tax refunds, and Medicare and Social Security. ACB, one group, one sentence. And here for the next group, there is a word, clue, breaching. A breach, should it happen? It starts about the breach, with the breach. Based on that, D is the next one. A breach, should it happen by the June 1st deadline, risks an economic debacle that could lead to a credit rating downgrade. with the knock-on effect of soaring interest rates and tanking stock markets. How many do we have here? One is missing. Yes, that is right. D and F. After that, easy. A breach, should it happen by the June 1st deadline, risks an economic debacle that could lead to a credit rating downgrade with the knock-on effect of soaring interest rates and tanking stock markets. DF1 group. This in turn, obviously, this negative impact in turn would have a deleterious, dangerous impact on retirement and savings accounts, the pace of business activity, and therefore on employment. Because of this, the cascading impact. What is the last one? E is the last one. Has anyone got this order? ACB1 group, DF1 group, and the last sentence E. Subhashini, Swapna, Bharat, I think looks like they have got this order. Very good. Highly appreciable. Because you haven't got enough time, let us go to phrasal verbs, a little confusing. Don't be hasty. Read the options carefully and try to get all the 5 correct. Call for. It calls for. The behavior calls for. What does it mean? Call for something. One E. No. One E is not correct. Anusha has got it right. C. Publicly ask for or demand. Call for something, demand for something. It calls for explanation. Means what? It demands, I'm going to start, please wait for some time. Answer is a C. Call up. No, 1C. Go to the second one. Call up. Call up, not easy. But because options are there, you should be able to make out. No, second one is not E. No. It is not. No. No one has got it right. Here, who is 2D. Hema has got it right. Call up means an order to join a military organization. D. Call out means asking someone for help. E is the answer. Call off, if you read the newspapers, the match has been called off. Means what? Cancelled. This is an easy one, the easiest rather. Call by, he called by on the way to some place to visit for a short while. Has anyone got all the 5 correct? I doubt. If you say yes, sir, good, I appreciate. Go to idioms. We have 5 idioms, all with the same verb, bear. That way, quite challenging. Under pressure, you cannot handle these idioms based on the same verb. A little difficult. Bear the burden. Four is pretty good, Hema, I appreciate. Be happy. 3 is also good enough. But 4, you should be happy. All the 5, outstanding, extraordinary. 1B, to endure something distressing, painful, or stressful. Very good, got it right. Who is the first one to respond? Didipya. Okay, after that I see Sudhakar Yadav and Naidu Paidi Tirupathrao. 1 is B, over. Bear the brunt. Second one is put up with the worst of some bad circumstance. You have to face the worst part of something. Bear the brunt, an important one they have given many a time. E is the answer. Please bear with me, sometimes I use, means what? To have patience, to be patient with someone or something. Please bear with the delay, a standard expression. Bear testimony to. Recently have got the word testimony. Means what? To say something is correct, authentic, testimonials, a legal term. 4. To support or prove a claim or idea. A is the answer. Please bear in mind, I use this also sometimes. Please bear in mind. To remember, keep in mind. You can also say keep in mind, bear in mind. To remember, think about, or consider. Has anyone got all the 5 correct? Then you should be happy. Validate, Ahmad, yes. All the 5, wonderful. These are not easy, uphill task. What is the reason? You are under pressure, and all of them start with the same verb. What is the verb? Naidu Paidi. Very good. I appreciate all the 5 correct. Suresh also very good. Let us go to words you got yesterday, some important words from the editorial. Words and parts of speech, meaning. Hema also, very good. Please go to the last slide, consolidation. Tripath, good. You guys are doing extremely well, and you should be happy. You should feel confident. This has to give you immense confidence. Do remember, not easy to get phrasal verbs all the 5 correct, idioms all the 5 correct. Outstanding. Platitude, part of speech, noun. I is the answer. Very good. Rajeshri, first one to respond. After that, no, not B. A remark or statement that may be true but has become boring because it has been used many a time. A lengthy meaning because of space constraint, I could not, but you should be able to recollect. A remark or statement that may be true but has become boring and people doubt the credibility because it has been used many a time. Answer is I. Censure, part of speech. It can be a verb, it can be a noun. Has anyone answered the second one? G. Strong criticism or disapproval. Good. Strong criticism or disapproval. Probity, a little misleading because we all know the word probe. Probe means what? Investigate. But here probity has a different meaning altogether. You got to focus on that word. Who has answered the third one? Very good. I appreciate J. Complete honesty. Probe has nothing to do with probity. Overhaul. To completely change a system to make it work effectively. And it is a verb. It can be a noun. Answer is A. Oh, you guys have gone to the fourth one. Today I am slow. Allegation, noun. Allegation means what? To, where is this? A statement made without evidence that someone has done something wrong. B is the answer. Harassment, behavior that annoys or troubles or upsets. Noun, and it is E. Benign, an important word. Pleasant and kind. It is an adjective. Answer H. Immerse, verb. To put something or someone in water. So C is the answer. Idle, immersion. Clamor, to make a loud complaint. Answer is clamor, noun, F. What are you left with? Resolve, a simple word. Resolution, noun. Resolve, a verb. What are you left with? To solve or end a problem. D. Very good. I appreciate all those students who have responded. It is always better to be an active learner, not a passive learner. Active learners, they will be able to consolidate. They will have a clear picture. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. Do remember, Sundays, the Hindu paper, it does not publish the editorial. Based on that, no editorial session on Sunday. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys in the evening at 7:30. I'm going to come up with an important video, exam point of view. Do join that. Please join that session at 7:30. Thank you. Have a nice day.